Thank you very much for joining us on the program NIMASA This Week. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. So once again, I say thank you for being a part of the program. The year 2020 is really flying. Barely 6 weeks left for it to be 2021. It's been a very fantastic year, if I say so myself. Now, on the program, we'll be giving you a recap of what 2020 has been like in the maritime sector. We'll have stakeholders come on board to share their recaps with us, beginning with the DG NIMASA, so watch out for that. Today, we'll share with you what NIMASA is doing in the protection of our marine environment, especially as regards oil pollution. You need to watch that. And then, there is this standalone anti-piracy law. What is it about? We'll be giving you a special report on it. I'll ask you to just please sit back, relax, and make sure you follow everything we'll be sharing with you today on the program. My name is Cordelia Obme. Welcome.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for our maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
Now, for those of you following NIMASA in all her activities, you would know that the DG NIMASA is truly committed to capacity development in that agency. And so the management as a whole of NIMASA is thoroughly focused on developing the capacity of staff to keep them really motivated.
It is common knowledge that no company, small or large, can win over the long run without energized employees who believe in the mission and vision of the organization. NIMASA is no exception. It's based on this premise that the management of NIMASA has made employee capacity development its major focus. Speaking during an interactive session with select staff of the agency, the Director General, Dr. Bashir Jamo, noted that employees of NIMASA are most valuable assets to achieve the tripod vision of the present management.
I would like to appreciate PwC and Sam Wilson for sustaining this particular program of Employee of the Year. I think so far we produce about 33 Employee of the Month and then about 3 Employee of the Year so far. That means we are moving forward and we are achieving something.
Dr. Jamo also addressed the issue of employee stakeholders relations, which he noted is very vital to the growth of the Nigerian maritime sector.
We encourage our officers, executive directors to appreciate officers, to learn to appreciate officers even verbally. When you come in, oh no, I like what you did that day. Oh, thank you so very much. I really appreciate. Keep it up. That one also he will live to remember. Yes. So DG is observing what I'm doing. That's so good.
The engagement session featured presentations by seasoned capacity development consultants on how best NIMASA can serve the Nigerian maritime sector with a well-dedicated staff.
When you leave your comfort zone and go to an unmarked territory, you bring out the best in yourself. So don't sit down in one place and say, when they post you out, you're sad, you're unhappy. No! Put on your thinking cap and excel.
Many of you know that I talk a lot about KPIs, key performance indicators, and that is something that we must put into the system and ensure that we are attaining our KPIs. I believe, and I've said it time and time again to the last DG and the current DG, that if we put our KPIs in place and are able to attain our KPIs, it will be one of the most transformational things we'll ever do for NIMASA.
This program was initiated in 2017. We've seen about 33 employees of the month, and each of them getting what is due to show appreciation and recognize, really reward performance. And once you reward performance, you will expect a greater result.
A major focus of the Bashir Jamal-led management of NIMASA is maritime safety. And now when we say maritime safety, we're not just talking about human lives and properties. We're also talking about aquatic lives. With that in view, the management and team in charge of marine environment protection in NIMASA went into full action when a vessel spilled oil somewhere in Lagos last week. That movement was very crucial because at the end of the day, it ended up saving aquatic lives in that area.
Inspection of offshore installations of oil companies and tankers for the prevention of marine pollution from oil through laid-down monitoring strategies is a major function of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. This the agency carries out by ensuring the implementation of the MARPOL Convention. The very first annex of the MARPOL Convention has to do with the regulation of prevention of pollution of the marine environment by oil. So when prevention fails, NIMASA undertakes pollution control. That was the case when a vessel MV Lida at Barogu Jetty in Kirikiri area of Lagos State in Nigeria, which has been sinking gradually, suddenly started releasing some of its oil content into the environment. NIMASA enforcement officers took note during patrol duties in the area and immediately liaised with the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, for pollution control purposes. The team immediately boomed the area, thus preventing the oil spill from spreading. The containment exercise was to save aquatic lives, while immediate action to remove the pollutant was embarked upon.
It was an oil spill which was reported to us by one of our patrols at the safety department. The oil seeping from the vessel, we have contained it, and we're making arrangements to get divers to go in and see if these products have totally emptied themselves from the bunker. We advise management subsequently.
Statistics estimate that 3.2 million tons of oil per year are released from all sources into the environment. Oil is due to general shipping and industrial activities. During the Iran-Iraq War from 1980 to 1988, approximately 2 million barrels of oil were discharged into the Arabian Gulf Sea water. Following the Gulf War in 1991, between 4 and 8 million barrels were released into the Gulf and the Kuwaiti Desert, making this the largest oil spill in history at that time. The Tory Canyon, Brer, Sea Empress, and the supertanker Brave off the coast of Shetland in the UK in 1993 spilled over 600,000 barrels. Digitalization is key to facilitate the international maritime traffic. From developments across the globe, the time for a more digital port operation in Nigeria has come. When ships enter and leave ports, vital information must be exchanged with various entities ashore. Port authorities, pilots, maritime administrations such as NIMASA, and health authorities require information about the vessels, cargoes, dangerous goods, crew, passengers. The way this information is shared is crucial. Digitalization is key. It not only reduces errors, it improves the quality of the information being exchanged. When automated, digitalization is less consuming and more efficient. Since 2019, the International Maritime Organization (IMO) requires data to be exchanged electronically between the ship's reporting parties, such as the master, ship agents and shipping lines, and the authorities at shore. IMO also recommends using the single window concept, where data is submitted through a single portal without duplication and distributed to the correct authorities. Different groups of stakeholders have different objectives and different work processes. Therefore, more than one standard is used for ship reporting. That is why IMO and standards bodies ISO, UNECE and WCO have agreed on an IMO data set and an IMO reference data model known as the IMO Compendium. This is a set of standards for the submission of maritime-related data. IMO encourages all stakeholders to adopt the IMO Compendium when building their digital systems. Compendium allows single windows to integrate, enabling closer coordination between customs and maritime authorities during clearance processes. Stakeholders are encouraged to check IMO guidelines for help on setting up a maritime single window. Learn from the experiences of member states around the world who have done so successfully and help make simpler, more efficient maritime trade a reality.
Do you know who a seafarer is? Seafarers are the people who make the world go round.
I am Titus Elowa, Nautical Science, University of Cebu, Philippines. Rounding up my training on board Cape Felton, currently in Russia, Vostochny.
I am Theodora Yara Kanepang. I'm on board Cape Nabil doing my 1-year apprenticeship, which is more or less cadetship.
Seafarers are people who have been employed to work on the ships. They ensure smooth sailing of the ship while making sure that goods and services get to us from every part of the world. And despite the COVID-19 pandemic, this set of people are still working for the benefit of everyone. Seafarers are key workers. Let us celebrate these special people, as they are the people who truly make the world go round. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA.
I would say that we have a very positive engagement with all relevant agencies led by the Ministry of Justice and the Nigerian Navy. Other attendant agencies like the Marine Police and others are also involved, and our collaboration predates the SPOMO Act, the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act of 2019. It predates it, and there has been a massive commitment to tackling the rising tide of piracy in the territorial waters and the exclusive economic zone of Nigeria.
There's always been a very high level of collaboration between the agency and the Nigerian Navy. We actually have an MOU in place between both organizations, and it ensures that we have a framework to which we're able to carry out this collaboration between us. The SPOMO Act has come to actually give this even a firmer force, such that there is a legal framework that has continued to work for the agency.
So there is no possibility that any agency will trivialize the need to collaborate in handling it, because it has placed Nigeria at almost the #1 position in the negative list of piracy and maritime offences impacted nations. So the commitment to doing something about it is at the optimum level. It's very high. In as much as we are not clairvoyant, we cannot see the future, but what we have done is something that draws on the previous experiences of other places like the Malacca Straits, the Indian Ocean, the African countries of Somalia and Kenya, who have had similar experiences of upsurge in piracy and the need for a functional legal framework for handling it. In other places, we have even seen them go to the point of establishing international courts to tackle the problem of piracy. We have not gone to that level in Nigeria because we believe that we have a legal system that is advanced enough to deal with it. And as far as I am concerned, the SPOMO Act encapsulates the best that we can do at this moment to tackle piracy. And I don't see any reason why it should not stand the test of time.
Agitations taken too far. Looting the entire complex. Set the building ablaze. Burnt vehicles. Why destroy a national heritage? Or do you stand to gain by being destructive? Never again. Not the NPA. Not any public property.
The Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, has emphasized the pivotal role of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, in the attempt to fast-track tax revenue to a prime source of government finance in the country's economic development drive. President and Chairman of Council, CITN, Dame Gladys Olajumoke Simplis, said this in Lagos recently during the 22nd Annual Tax Conference organized by the Institute. Simplis commended NIMASA's commitment to the development of the maritime industry through promotion of the federal government's Ease of Doing Business initiative and expansion of infrastructure, saying they are very, very key to national progress.
You are a regulatory body. Regulate that tourism aspect of Nigeria. Encourage Nigerians to go into shipping. They should go into shipping. There's nothing wrong in government even encouraging them by giving them money, seed money, to develop their shipping business. What does that do? Our exports will be done through Nigerian ships. The cargo, oil cargo, is dominated by foreign companies. Why should that be? We should encourage galvanizing fund for Nigerians who are interested in doing shipping business. That is the way we should be.
The Institute has provided us with a lot of opportunities for us to train. This year alone, about 16 of us are here being trained. We are learning. We are learning from practitioners. We are learning from industry practitioners. We are learning from the academia. We are also learning from politicians. The two governors were here. They have given us their experience. You saw the speech by El Rufai. Wonderful. The suggestions is made there, wonderful. The experience is sharing. You saw the governor of Lagos said he's taking it down. He wants to repeat it there. And these are the things that will help them to grow. Look at the issue of ease of doing business. They started from number 16. Today they are number 1. Lagos State down. They are competing. So the experience you gain from attending such conferences is very wonderful. Personal development you develop. Then on the other side, on the whole, they are doing well. So NIMASA has been partnering with them. We have been sponsoring some of the program. They too have been training us. This president, she has visited NIMASA about 2 years ago, and we interacted wonderfully well. So these are the things.
Other participants at the conference included officials from NIMASA who commended the agency's management for its commitment to capacity development, particularly staff capacity development.
Chartered Institute of Taxation has equipped us. Some of the things we do in the office, you see it reflects in our jobs. It's because of the training that we have gotten from here. The fact that they even release our members to serve as part of the committee is also something that should be applauded. And I want to mention this. The current Director General, Dr. Bashir Jamu, is not just a friend of the Institute. Our president, the president in council, of the Institute, Dame Simply Solajumoke, is like a close friend of his, and he has been at several of our events, including our dinners. We appreciate him, and we appreciate him for the support, for always sponsoring us to come for this event, for always supporting challenges of taxation.
The availability of COVID-19 vaccines and rapid standardized testing for the virus could be crucial in helping to resolve the ongoing crew change crisis in the maritime sector. However, a meeting of a cross-section of United Nations agencies, shipping organizations, unions, and maritime and logistic businesses agreed that focus needs to be on developing a range of practical solutions. Some 400,000 seafarers are still stuck at sea, months beyond their contracted time, with increasing reports of severe fatigue and mental distress. A similar number of seafarers are trying to join ships to begin contracts, but transit to and from ships is being thwarted by travel restrictions and limitations imposed due to the pandemic. While there has been some progress, more countries need to designate seafarers as key workers and give them the rights that essential workers are given for travel and transit. Ongoing work to raise awareness of the crew change crisis at the political level and beyond, including a focus on the human rights of seafarers, is still needed, participants said. At a roundtable meeting hosted by the IMO Secretary General Mr. Kitak Lim, highlighted IMO collaborative efforts to continue to keep crew change crisis on the agenda, while moves to get a UN General Assembly resolution adopted are also on the table. The meeting was attended by heads and representatives of BIMCO, Cruise Lines International Association (CLIA), International Labour Organization (ILO), International Association of Dry Cargo Ship Owners (Intercargo), International Association of Independent Tanker Owners (Intertanko), and the International Transport Workers Federation (ITF), amongst others.
The oversight function is a tool of checkmating MDAs and governments, as well as the budgetary provisions given to every MDAs. The legislative arm of government, they have the responsibility to approve our own budget. In so doing, they have the responsibility to ensure the effective, efficient implementation of that budget is being carried out to the letter. Therefore, each and every one of us owe it a duty to make sure that he aligns himself with the laid down rules and provisions, as well as guidance of spending public funds, because the day of reckoning like this day will come.
Thank you very much, DG, for understanding the different roles, your role as an MDA, and of course our role as a legislator. Thank you very much.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
We'll be bringing you more on that session next week. It was very engaging, intriguing, and all things positive. So more of that next week. But right now, I have to go. I have to remind you again that we'll be doing the recaps in 2 weeks' time. We'll be telling you what 2020 has been like for the maritime sector. Key players will be coming on board to talk with us. The DG NIMASA will be leading the pack. Till then, remember you could follow him on Twitter. He is at Jamo Bashir, at Jamo Bashir. You could also follow NIMASA on all her social media platforms. On YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, they are all at NIMASA Official. at NIMASA Official. You could also visit the website to know more about the maritime sector. Till I come your way again next week, all the things being equal, my name is Cordelia Ogbe. Do have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.